Good evening and welcome to the Raw Feed. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas break. I'm Gary Franchi, and tonight we're bringing you stories so explosive that the mainstream media is desperately trying to bury them. We're streaming live across YouTube and Rumble and X to millions worldwide. So make sure you follow us there because what we're about to reveal, they don't want you to see. And before we dive in, I want you to grab your phone and text this live link to 3 friends right now. Why? Because the algorithm is trying to suppress this information, but they can't stop direct sharing. And here's what's really important. We are reading your super chats, your Rumble rants between segments, and featuring them on screen for the world to see. Your voice matters, and tonight we're giving you the platform to be heard. Speaking of being heard, we have launched our channel memberships with 3 exclusive tiers: Operative, Commander, and Sentinel levels. Each comes with coughing fits. Each comes with special perks and acknowledgement in the chat room. Plus, we've opened our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, where you can get your hands on limited edition MagAvengers Next News swag. Now, let me tell you what we're covering tonight, and it's big. In exactly 24 days, Donald Trump will make his historic return to the White House, but the deep state is in panic mode. We're exposing their desperate last-minute attempts to block him from taking office. You will not believe what we have uncovered. We're also pulling back the curtain on 2024's most mortifying media moments. The mainstream media's attempts to prop up Biden while attacking Trump have reached levels of absurdity that would make Pravda blush. Wait till you see the footage that we have obtained. But that's not all. Trump's global moves are sending shockwaves to the international community. His strategic vision for Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal isn't just bold, it's brilliant, and we'll show you exactly why world leaders are scrambling. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's legacy is in absolute tatters as he jets off to his 570th day of vacation in St. Croix. We've obtained new photos showing his meetings with Hunter's Chinese business partners. Yeah, the corruption runs deep, and we're exposing all of it. And tonight, we're diving into the explosive H1B Visa Wars that have erupted between Silicon Valley and America First advocates. When Elon Musk called for doubling skilled worker visas, it ignited a firestorm within the MAGA movement. We'll show you what's really at stake. And now I need to be direct with you. Our ability to bring you these crucial stories depends on your support. The mainstream media wants to silence voices like ours, but we won't back down. So if you value real news, please consider making a donation in the links that are in the description below. Your support keeps us on air and independent. Remember, your super chats get priority between segments, and we're featuring them on screen for everyone to see. Plus, don't forget to check out the new swag at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Show the world where you stand with independent media. My friends, the storm is coming, and we are here to guide you through it, so stay with us. You're not just watching news, you're witnessing history in the making. This is the Raw Feed, and we're just getting started. Now, let's welcome you to the show. Looks like we got our first member. Is that a member I just see pop in here? Let's see here. What do we got? There's a super chat. Derek, welcome, Derek. He has just become a member. Welcome to the club, Derek A. Martin. Great to have you in the crew. Who else is here tonight? Let's see. We got Meathead, and we got, James Snowden. Sure You is here. Joni Jacobs is here. Peekaboo is here. Jonathan is here. Jonathan Tulin. And who else? Who else is here? We got Jeremy and Cool Ramon. The Guardian 1 is here. What's up? Corky Goss. Velvet and Lace 60. Gary Kuda Big Fish is in the house. And Dee Dee Johnson just dropped $1.99 in the super chat already. Heather Reeve is here. What's up, Heather? Good to see you. Let's see what our first super chat of the night has to say from Dee Dee. Oh, no message. Just a simple $1.99. Thank you, Dee Dee. We appreciate that. Who else is in the house tonight? Before we get started with all the news, we want to make sure everybody, as many as we can, get acknowledged. Gail, I see you, Gail. And Paulette from Calhoun, Georgia. And we got Val Brooks from Illinois. We got Julian Wayne Mark House. What's up, Julian? Misty belongs to Jesus. Amen. And we got Diane is here from Australia. Jeanette from Illinois is in the house. Michelle from Ontario, Canada. Corky is here. Batteries wait. And it looks like we got a new member as well. Brenda has just become an operative. Welcome to the club, Brenda. Brian, where's the applause? Come on, Brian. Where's the applause? Who else is in the house? I'm doing myself. I get it. Okay, who else? We got James in Atlanta. We got Texas in the house. Terry Robert Kramer in Texas. What's up, Bob? Matt in Colorado. Mark Steele dropping $2 Canadian. What's up, Mark Steele? Thank you for the Canadian buckers. Who else is there? James and Heather and Pothead Kenny. What's up? What's up? Good to see you, Pothead Kenny. Western Kansas Farm Boy. What's up, my friend? Who else? Charlotte Miller. Don't tread on me. And the Remnant is here from Oregon as well. So much to get into tonight. Let's jump right into it. Angie Nicholson is here from Three Rivers, Michigan as well. Brian, let's get to the news. We got some stuff to cover tonight. So let's go. Viv's in a van down by the river. Salty work boots in the house from Texas. All right, guys, let's rock and roll. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're about to show you tonight exposes the corporate media's desperation like never before. Grabian has just dropped their compilation of 2024's most mortifying media moments, and it's a masterclass in propaganda. From labeling Biden's cognitive decline as cheap fakes to editing Kamala's incoherent rambling into seemingly coherent responses, the mainstream media's mask has completely fallen off. They've gone from being the watchdogs of our republic to the lapdogs of the elite. And wait until you see how they tried to manufacture enthusiasm for Kamala's DNC speech with fake Beyonce rumors. Yeah, the corruption runs deep, but tonight we are exposing it all. And my fellow Americans, while the mainstream media continues to push their propaganda, smart patriots are protecting their wealth from the coming storm. Just like we expose the truth about media corruption, global gold investments, they expose the truth about protecting your retirement. Call 888-700-4148 and receive their new 2024 Protect Your Wealth and Retirement Guide, soon to be 2025. Don't let your retirement fall victim to market manipulation. Secure your future with precious metals. And when you mention Next News, Gary Franchi, you'll receive up to $1,000 in free silver for all retirement rollovers this month. Yeah, and it's about to close out soon. So call 888-700-4148. That's the number on the screen, or click the link in the description. Okay, so let's get into it here. We have from Grabian News, the truth has been exposed, a scorcher. 2024's top 10 most mortifying media moments. Biden hailed as a genius. Project 2025 smeared, and Kamala's cover-ups galore. The globalist media meltdown in full display. Let's watch it before it gets deleted, right? Let's go. Oh, here's my boy.
Start your tape right now.
I am taking a, what do they call it? Like a regular dose, whatever. They're trying to build up of ivermectin.
Ivermectin? A dewormer? Really? Because I'm about to tell you the truth.
Donald Trump declaring before a crowd that Cheney should be put before a firing line.
An FBI.
Who could ever forget that? When they manipulated that quote, when he was on stage with Tucker Carlson, and they took it completely out of context and ran with it. Oh boy, my friends, this is going to be fun.
If you can't handle the truth.
It's clear as day. The FBI put out statistics for 2023. Crime is going down. You don't have to twist the facts.
Violent crime in America has actually gone up, not down.
Grabian presents the most mortifying media moments of 2024. Number 10, ignore your eyes. Those are cheap fakes.
There's a growing and insidious trend in right-wing media, broadcast, print, and social media. It is to take highly misleading and selectively edited videos of President Biden directly from Republican National Committee social media accounts. And then,
you know what's funny about this is it's like she's projecting, because that's what the media does every single moment with Donald Trump, with other conservative figures. They take them out of context. But the fact is that the video that was presented during these moments here, these were not cheap fakes, friends, but that's how the media wants to present it.
Those videos to spread messages virally to cast doubt on President Biden's fitness for office. Here is this headline from the New York Post, quote, Biden appears to freeze up, has to be led off stage by Obama at Megabucks LA fundraiser. The full video posted by Biden finance chair on Twitter shows something entirely different. Biden reacting to applause and then walking off stage with former President Obama.
Look at that. It comes Look at that right there. That moment. That was a turning point right there for Clooney. Yeah, when Clooney saw that, he recognized this was the end of the Biden campaign, and this was really this was a turning point. And it was really sad to see this. Obama just patting him on the back. Come on, Joe. Let's put you out to pasture. And that's exactly what happened next, right?
1 week after the New York Post made a cover out of another piece of deceptively edited tape, calling him meanderer-in-chief due to what they claim was Biden walking away during a skydiving demonstration during the G7 summit last week. Biden was going over to congratulate one of the skydivers. The articles are based on cheap fakes.
Okay, she said that Biden was going over to congratulate. How does she know that? Was she in Biden's head at that moment when he was distracted by the guy in the ground packing up his parachute and he meanders away from the photo shoot?
Meanderer-in-chief due to what they claim was Biden walking away during a skydiving demonstration during the G7 summit last week. Biden was going over to congratulate one of the skydivers. The articles are based on cheap fakes, videos of real events that are intentionally manipulated to fool viewers.
Number 9, CNN thinks America is a democracy.
There's a lot of criticisms of Trump that he is bad for democracy, that he's bad for American democracy.
Okay, we are a republic.
We're a republic.
We are not a democracy.
Republic. We're not a democracy. I've heard a lot of conspiracy theories. I hear a lot of things out on the road. But to hear Americans, people who would describe themselves as patriots, say that America is not a democracy, that stopped me in my tracks.
Isn't that wild? CNN calling it a conspiracy theory if you call the United States a republic. Well, I expect nothing less from them. It sounds like he's got an accent too, so what would he know, right? He's probably from that nation that we defeated during the revolution, right?
You are hearing people say America is not a democracy because there are people around Trump who want them to be saying that, who've been planting that narrative.
Number 8, Beyonce is performing at the DNC.
There are rumors that Beyonce might make an appearance. I personally think that that's true.
Is the United Center going to be turning into the Beehive tonight?
You know, the talking points went out from the DNC. Hype it up, get all the eyeballs, get everyone turning in, right? Change the channel. Watch the DNC. Beyonce's coming, everybody. Yeah. What about her husband these days, though, right? He's in some hot water.
Beehive is buzzing right now because the preparation for the Beehive, it has to start early.
A donor confirmed to me that she's also hearing that Beyonce is en route.
Beyonce is going to show up. Queen Bey.
Breaking Beyonce news.
Number 7, the media tries to scare people about Project 2025.
The far-right manifesto puts forth sealing the border, and it seeks to do so with military force. It aims to use every lever of government to find, detain, and deport undocumented people, take funding and housing away from people who are just associated with undocumented immigrants. Quote, deny loan assistance to those who are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents.
Did you see that? They're freaking out that Trump is going to deny loan assistance to people who are not legal American citizens.
Media tries to scare people about Project 2025.
The far-right manifesto puts forth sealing the border, and it seeks to do so with military force. It aims to use every lever of government to find, detain, and deport undocumented people, take funding and housing away from people who are just associated with undocumented immigrants. Quote, deny loan assistance to those who are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents.
Number 6. media tries to hype up the amount of misinformation on X.
After Elon Musk took over in 2022, most of its fact-checkers were fired. Now the site is rife with trash talk and lies.
Trash talk and lies. Before Musk took over, that's all it was. And it was dominated by leftist lunatics. Oh, wait till you see what's about. They're going to show this picture. And they just they freak out over this AI image. Watch this.
Little would you know that this, said to be footage from Gaza, is really from a video game. Eventually, X users added a warning label.
And that's how the fake news is checked on X, through community notes. But they can't stand that. But this is the picture. This is the picture right here. It's Biden and Trump baking a pie. Okay? They're all smiles. I mean, obviously, you and I both know that would never happen. But they are freaking out in the media because pictures like this go viral on X and because people are laughing at it or sharing it as if it's some kind of reality.
Are AI-generated images of, well, see for yourself. Did your research find that there was more misinformation spread by conservatives?
Absolutely. X has turned into a haven for the spread of misinformation. Since buying the site almost 2 years ago, Musk's site has struggled to control it on topics ranging from the election to the assassination attempt against Trump.
Number 5. Tim Walz is the best. J.D. Vance is the worst.
Midwestern dad, super clean-cut vibe.
Everybody likes
right?
Tim Walz.
So plain-spoken and relatable. Pretty moderate Democrat.
Very moderate record.
The new moderate.
Is right down the middle.
He's not just an old white man.
Tim Walz beats America.
Talks like a regular person.
Tim Walz is the opposite of weird.
Populist approach to fear on the Republican side, and the happy populism that Tim Walz is on the ticket on the Democratic side.
And happy warriors.
Happy warriors.
He was certainly the happy warrior last night.
Happy warrior, folksy backstory.
Wicked sense of humor.
Look how happy the pig looks.
That's good.
And J.D. Vance is weird, extreme, and angry.
Utter humorlessness.
It's hard to believe that J.D. Vance could be any more extreme.
It's like a freak show of bros.
Dark and ugly beneath the dignity of most politicians.
J.D. Vance.
JD is at the far extreme. The most extreme.
Being one of the most extreme.
Angry and mean and dark.
This guy is really weird, y'all.
Number 4. Very, very bad things will happen if Trump wins.
Think about what happens
This is good.
if all of our access to health care goes away next Tuesday. The stakes literally are life and death for every woman in America.
Okay, so I'm pausing it here. You're a woman, you're watching this right now. Has anything changed? Do you anticipate any changes in your healthcare provider? I mean, the lies spewed from the mainstream media is exactly why MSNBC has lost half of their viewership and is about to go up for sale. Oh, boy.
Beneath the dignity of most politicians.
J.D. Vance.
JD is at the far extreme. The most extreme.
Being one of the most extreme.
Angry and mean and dark.
This guy is really weird, y'all.
Number 4. Very, very bad things will happen if Trump wins.
Think about what happens if all of our access to health care goes away next Tuesday. The stakes literally are life and death for every woman in America. It's not hyperbole. It's not an exaggeration.
Trump will fulfill his promise to be a dictator on day one.
Sets up a network of camps.
Extraordinarily erratic foreign policy in the Middle East.
Doing profound and possibly permanent damage to American democracy.
If historians in the future are allowed to write books, and by the way, that question is open this morning, and if people are allowed to go on television and say what they think in the future, which again, that question is open this morning. That's what happens when strong men come to power. That happened in Italy in the 1920s and 1930s, Germany in the 1930s. Suspend the Constitution, pit the Justice Department, the Defense Department against political enemies, and run this country out of the White House.
Number 3. Joe Biden would never pardon his son because he is such a great guy.
Presidential promise to put the law before family.
The president has ruled out pardoning his son.
Pledging not to pardon his son.
To sit there and say, well, I'm not going to intervene in the legal process, and I wouldn't pardon my son. Democrats and Joe Biden protecting the justice system.
Our current president of the United States has so much respect for the law that he has said he would not pardon his son.
And Joe Biden has very clearly said he would not pardon his son, he would not commute his sentence. How can Republicans keep making this argument now that Joe Biden has really put it out there?
He is not doing it because he is living what it means to have a rule of law in this country. Yeah. And it isn't, I mean, if you want to know if he believes it, you could actually see what is happening with his own son.
Even President Biden saying in a statement that he would respect the outcome of this case.
This was a good day for the system, good day for sort of America as an example of how the rule of law should work.
We're coming on the air this hour with breaking news. President Biden has just pardoned his son, Hunter.
Number 2, media gets caught editing interviews to help Kamala Harris.
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, if...
I've already forgot what the question was. But I know she's from a middle-class family.
But a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn, you know?
When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems...
Are you going to miss those word salads? I mean, I was watching this clip with Angie, and we were just like jaws on the floor trying to comprehend what she said there. But like watching these clips here of how the media literally edited her answers is the most dishonest form of journalism in the world. And it is absolutely shameful. This is 60 Minutes. And they're editing her answers? I mean, talk about revealing your bias, protecting the candidate. And even with all the help that she had and Walz had, they lost. It's because everybody saw through the charade.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Number 1, there's no cognitive decline. In fact, Biden has never been better.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. This version of Biden is the best Biden ever.
She knows so long as she was 9.
In fact, I think he's better than he's ever been.
He is sharp, intensely probing, and detail-oriented and focused.
President Biden has a photographic memory, but he's totally focused. He's very sharp.
They say he's sharp in meetings and so on.
Very lucid, very well informed.
He's older. That doesn't mean that he
is unfit. He can clear a dementia bar, and that's probably a win.
More wild speculation from a bunch of people who have probably never been in a room with Joe Biden and certainly don't have medical degrees that I'm aware of.
But a huge part of the Mueller report talks about Russian disinformation tactics. And one of the themes this election cycle is that Joe Biden is too old to lead. And so everyone is seizing upon this. And it is a classic disinformation tactic.
You know, what's sad about this this Grabian clip is that they didn't include anything from this Wall Street Journal report, where everybody's coming out now. They are all exposing Joe Biden and his cognitive decline and the cover-up. And of course, as we played in some of our last reporting, James O'Keefe's insider, the National Security Advisor, Council advisor, clearly covering it up, talking about it, saying Joe Biden is dead and he's going to be dead in a year. I mean, that's what they're saying on the inside, but the media did everything in their power to cover it up. And this 10-minute and 38-second clip from Grabian News it's why the American people have lost all faith in the mainstream media. And that's why channels like the Next News Network excel. That's why we're beating them in the ratings. That's why MSNBC is down 50%. CNN is down. They're all down. It's because they lie to the American people. But we are here to correct the narratives and have a little laugh. So what we've witnessed tonight, it's more than just media bias. It's a coordinated campaign of deception. The corporate media's attempts to cover for Biden's cognitive decline, manufacture enthusiasm for Kamala, and attack America First policies, well, they reached unprecedented levels in 2024. Yeah, they weren't even trying to hide their agenda. From CNN's edited interviews to MSNBC's desperate spin, 2024 has exposed just how far they will go to maintain their grip on the narrative. But here's what they don't want you to understand. The American people aren't buying it anymore. Their viewership's collapsing, their credibility's shot, and the alternative media is rising. So here's tonight's question. Is the mainstream media's blatant propaganda pushing us towards a complete restructuring of American journalism? Who are some of the voices that you trust? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're at it, show your support for real news with our exclusive Mag Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right, guys. F. Joe Biden dropping $5. What's up? What did he say? He said Fetterman will be their savior. Oh, man. Fetterman's coming around, though. He'll probably be a Republican in 6 months. It looks like we got some gifted memberships coming down from Jeremy O'Connor. Yeah, he just gifted 5. A little late Christmas gift from Jeremiah O'Connor. We got Fitch 09 and Cola Buds and Guardian 1 and Dee Dee Johnson and Freebird all getting some new memberships. Welcome to the club. And also we got Scott Hastings. He just joined the club. What's up, Scott? Welcome to the club. And Jeremiah as well has become a member. Brian, where's the applause line, man? Where's the applause line? We got Dark Deception also becoming a member. So we thank you guys for having faith in us and supporting us. Let's get to some more news. Yes, the sabotage is on. Patriots, what we've uncovered is nothing short of an attempted coup. The Democrats, led by Jamie Raskin, aren't just talking about blocking Trump. They've already drafted the lawsuits. Using Section 3 of the 14th Amendment as their weapon, they are planning to create what they themselves call civil war conditions on January 6, 2025. The Hill is openly calling for Congress to invalidate the will of the American people, but here's what's really happening. They're terrified. With just 24 days until Trump's return, the deep state is making their final desperate move, and tonight we're going to expose their entire playbook. Now listen carefully, patriots. While the Democrats try to undermine our republic, you can't afford to let aging undermine your health. That's why I chose BioTrust Revolutionary Collagen Formula. Science shows that after age 20, your body produces 12% less collagen each decade. The BioTrust unique blend combines all 5 critical types of collagen your body needs. Don't let time win. Fight back. Visit healthwithgary.com for an exclusive 51% off. Plus, get free VIP health coaching for life and our special guide, the 14 foods for amazing skin. Take control of your health at healthwithgary.com. Okay, we're going to set the stage here. Natalie Winters posted this video on November 11th, and she says in this video, the lawsuits to block Trump's agenda are already drafted. We have to remain vigilant. I know it's easy to try to tune out, think we've won, and rest on our laurels. No. Now is the time to perk up, pay attention, and engage, whatever you do, because they are going to try everything in their playbook to prevent Trump from getting into power. And once he's in power, they're going to try everything to block him. And this is how they're going to do it. This is from Media Storm.
Fill in some names.
Or no, I'm sorry.
There's
Media's
a virtual.
Touch. These guys are horrible.
There's a virtual law firm of people besides us that are working right now on the brief. Just fill in some names and some dates. The lawsuit, the draft. We know exactly what they're going to do. They may have ready a raft of 40 executive orders for him to use his Sharpie with on January 20th. But I assure you, we have a raft of dozens of lawsuits already drafted with our fingers hovering over the print and file button against each one of those things. And now we have the advantage because we're in the plaintiff driver's seat.
So the lawfare is not going away, my friends. August 7th, remember this, Biden says there will not be a peaceful transfer of power if Trump wins.
Are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
If Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all. I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all.
Oh, a little Freudian slip there from Joe Biden, right?
Are you confident that there will be a peaceful transfer of power in January 2025?
If Trump wins, no, I'm not confident at all. I mean, if Trump loses, I'm not confident at all. He means what he says. We don't take him seriously. He means it. All the stuff about if we lose, there'll be a bloodbath. It's have to be a stolen election. Look what they're trying to do now in the local election districts where people count the votes. They're putting people in place in states that they're going to count the votes, right?
Are you confident?
Oh, we're going to count votes, huh?
Are you confident?
How horrible is that? Counting votes. 8 hours ago, top Democrats are urging Congress to block President Donald Trump from taking office. Christian Collins posting this. Yet Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says Biden calling Trump a threat to democracy still stands. Americans know the left is the real threat to our republic. Let's listen in.
An apology from the
in the meeting, we saw a unified front related to a transition in the Oval Office meeting, but a lot was said on the campaign trail, like Trump is a dangerous threat to our country and our democracy. Was there an apology today?
I'm sorry?
Was there an apology from
President
Biden for the words, some of the words used?
An apology from the President Biden
to President-elect Trump for some of the words that was used on the campaign trail.
Look. And I've answered this a couple of times about a threat to democracy in the past week. The president is going to always feel obligated to be honest with the American people. What he says still stands.
He's going to be honest with the American people, yet he pardons Hunter Biden. We got this. Alex Jones just posting this. Deep state coup alert. Top Democrats launch plan to block Trump from taking office.
Certifying. Well, the Democrats were unable to steal the 2024 election, and now, just as Jamie Raskin promised, they are moving to block Congress from certifying the election, claiming Trump was convicted of insurrection, something that never happened. Yep. We're about to lay it out right now.
It never happened. 3 hours ago, stupid, inept Congress proposes to block President Trump from taking office. 2 hours ago, Pappy Trumpo posts he will prosecute anyone involved with the 2020 stolen election. That's a major middle finger to Congress and the weasel Mike Pence, that everybody and everyone that knowingly certified an uncertified election. We knew the final stretch would be war. We'll fight like hell to get our president sworn in. Congress has power to block Trump under debate. Following an opinion piece published by The Hill on December 26, 2024, suggesting Congress would use Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to prevent Donald Trump from taking office, social media has erupted with diversive reactions. The article discusses the constitutional debate over whether Trump's actions constitute an insurrection, thereby disqualifying him under the amendment's terms. Discussions range from support for the legal theory to accusations of promoting insurrection against the democratic process. Oh, but guess what? Check this out. Here we have Stephen Chung. What is he saying? Oh, look, Democrats want to steal the election and invalidate the will of the American people, a threat to democracy. Quote, tweeting The Hill's article, Congress has the power to block Trump from taking office, but lawmakers must act now. I mean, that's like a call to action right there. And here we have, this is Jessica Denson. I don't know who she is. She runs a show called Lights On. And she was speaking with a guy named Evan Bernick, pushing the Democrats' insurrection narrative, claiming Section 3 of the 14th Amendment bars Trump from office. This is clearly a power grab, twisting the law to subvert the people's will, because Trump stands in their way. Now, I'm going to warn you, there's a lot of like legalese in this clip, so just kind of bear with me as we watch it.
About to assume.
I'm Jessica Denson, and this is Lights On, Section 3 of the 14th.
And the reason I bring it up is because this is a narrative that is now permeating through the leftist media circles. It's very important because we need to get the perspective of this is the agenda that they're pushing right now.
I'm Jessica Denson, and this is Lights On, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. It states that someone who is an insurrectionist cannot take the oath, and that disability cannot be removed without amnesty that is granted by a 2/3 vote of both houses of Congress. In this episode today, Associate Professor of Constitutional Law at Northern Illinois University, Evan Bernick. Okay, Evan, I just want to have your thoughts off the bat on where we stand with a constitutionally disqualified individual about to be sworn in to the presidency.
We have somebody who is constitutionally disqualified for the nation's higher office about to assume that office. He is about to assume that office.
Okay, do you hear the language he's using? This is the mindset of the left right now. Trump derangement syndrome has seeped in so deep. Listen to what he says again.
He is about to assume that office.
To be sworn in to the presidency.
We have somebody who is constitutionally disqualified for the nation's higher office about to assume that office.
He is declaring that Trump is constitutionally disqualified.
He is about to assume that office in a context where a number of those who opposed his candidacy made this argument that he was constitutionally disqualified. And we really now have to see whether those were just words or the legislators who took this position, who argued that the Section 3 of the 14th Amendment disqualifies Trump because he committed insurrection, are really prepared to act on that constitutional obligation that they perceive as oath-taking constitutionally appointed officials themselves.
Evan, there is in fact nothing preventing constitutional actors from demanding that Section 3 be abided by in this moment, is there?
No, I mean, I would put the point more strongly. Section 3, combined with state and federal officials' oath to follow the Constitution, obliges them to give effect to what they understand Section 3 to mean, even if the court had specifically said that Trump wasn't disqualified. And certainly, now that the Supreme Court has not said that he isn't disqualified, the Supreme Court's opinion in Trump v. Anderson does not say very much about the meaning of Section 3, except that states cannot enforce Section 3 by removing people whom have been adjudicated to have committed insurrection from the ballots. In fact, the court emphasized in Congress's court concerning what they want to do regarding a alleged, and in this case, adjudicated insurrectionist.
Absolutely, Evan. And not only is it incumbent upon them, but there are specific tools. There's a variety of avenues they could be pursuing at this moment. A
variety of tools that they're going to be pursuing. Oh, yes. And, of course, here's the headline. Congress has the power to block Trump from taking office, but lawmakers must act now. Evan Davis and David Schultz, an opinion contributor of The Hill. Mainstream media, of course. Remember this. This is, we've played this before, but this is more relevant now. We warned about this before. We've been warning about it for months. Shadow of Ezra. Mainstream media outlet The Hill is calling for an insurrection, demanding that Congress use the 14th Amendment to block Trump from taking office. They claim Congress has the authority to override the Electoral College and restore power to democracy. And here's Jamie Raskin. He has previously stated that Congress would use the 14th Amendment to stop Trump on January 6th, even if it led to civil war conditions. And he said, and to be clear, Jamie Raskin claims he never said this.
Job and in what can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody and civil war conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means. And I'm glad that Sherilyn's creating her new center so we can bring that.
Never forget what Jamie Raskin said, because it is now in play and The Hill is amplifying that narrative. Mario Nafal, legacy media pushes Congress to block Trump from taking office. Legal scholars, excuse me, according to The Hill, urging Congress to disqualify Trump using Section 3. They cite Trump's second impeachment and the January 6th committee findings as bipartisan evidence of insurrection, a claim already rejected by the Supreme Court in Colorado's failed bid to bar Trump. This is not journalism. It is a destructive agenda against America. Legacy media continues its relentless, already failed campaign to sway public opinion against Trump using discredited narratives to push Congress into unhinged action. Americans deserve free and fair journalism, not interference fueled by partisan narratives. That's from The Hill. And Robert W. Malone says The Hill is inciting an insurrection. Jack Unheard. Writers at The Hill suggest Section 3 of the 14th Amendment grants Congress the power to stop President Trump. Sean Spicer. He's weighing in as well. Yeah, he was the former press secretary for President Trump. Surprise it took so long, but the left is back at trying to subvert the election. Congress has the power to block Trump from taking office, but lawmakers must act now. He's quoting The Hill. They are desperate to start another insurrection, says American Sublime, and tagging The Hill. The following media outlets promote fake news. Yes, they do. Yeah. I thought this was funny. I wonder what sort of sabotage the Biden puppet masters are planning this week to stifle the Trump administration. Well, now we know. And here we have MSNBC pundit Matthew Dowd claims Joe Biden's final weeks in office are all about one thing: boxing Trump in.
Vetoed that, but we had many bills signed by the president. There's also the issue of more judges. He vetoed that bill. We have the bald eagle now officially the bird of the United States. What do you expect to see him do in the next 3 weeks of lasting effect?
I mean, I think what he's trying to do is trying to corner Donald Trump and sort of box him in so he can do. I think the Biden administration and the president is trying to prevent Donald Trump from doing as much damage as he possibly could do, which he could do a lot at becoming president. But I think Joe Biden is trying to box him in on this. And I mean, speaking specifically to the commutations, which, of course, Donald Trump doesn't understand the difference between a commutation and a pardon. Donald Trump in that tweet said they were pardoned. They weren't pardoned. They're still going to serve. They're going to still be in jail in this. And I think it comes a lot from the president's Christianity and outlook on the world, because I'll tell you, me personally, as a Christian, I'm opposed to the death penalty. And I think Donald Trump, it's amazing to me, his weighing in on this issue in such a way on Christmas. He might as well have, quoted Scrooge from Dickens and said, bah, humbug, let's decrease the surplus population in the course of this. And I'm actually always amazed by Donald Trump's sort of wrenching conflict with what the message of Christmas is and what he actually tweets out in the course of this. And so I think Joe Biden is trying to box Donald Trump in as much as he can. It's limited, but I think that's what his goal is.
So they're trying to hamstring Trump and remove him from office and get ready to launch these lawsuits the minute he takes power.
There's a virtual law
if they fail in preventing him.
Firm of people besides us that are working right now on the brief. Just fill in some names and some dates, the lawsuit, the draft. We know exactly what they're going to do. They may have ready a raft of 40 executive orders for him to use his Sharpie with on January 20th. But I assure you, we have a raft of dozens of lawsuits already drafted with our fingers hovering over the print and file button against each one of those things. And now we have the advantage because we're in the plaintiff driver's seat.
The insurrection is about to take place. If they're successful, the media narratives are being formed. The Hill is pushing it. And you see right there, Brianna Morello, the Hill is plotting an insurrection. So what we've revealed tonight is just the tip of the iceberg. The Democrats' plan to block Trump isn't just about one man. It's about maintaining their grip on power at any cost. They're willing to twist the Constitution, create chaos, and ignore the will of millions of Americans just to stop Trump's return to office. But here's what they don't realize. Their desperate moves are only making the America First movement stronger. Every lawsuit, every media hit piece, every unconstitutional scheme only proves what we have known and reported all along. They are terrified of true American leadership. So here is tonight's question. That's sure to spark some debate. If the Democrats succeed in blocking Trump through the 14th Amendment, will it trigger the constitutional crisis they claim to be preventing? Share your thoughts below. Don't forget to gear up for the fight with our exclusive MAG Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Wow. These people just don't quit. They don't quit. My friends, the battle is just beginning. If you thought that we were going to coast right into Donald Trump's inauguration day, you thought wrong. Because they are going to fight. Yeah, not like Donald Trump's fight. No. F. Joe Biden bringing up a super chat, $5. Thank you. Isn't that video Jamie Raskin and him admitting to plotting an insurrection? I think so. And it looks like we have some more gifted memberships. Holy cow. Viv B gifted 10 memberships. Wow, how many memberships do we have right now? Wow, 20 new members. Wow, and $13.59 in super chats as well. Thank you, Viv B. Wow, how nice of you to do that. Okay, let's get on to our third topic of the night. Okay. Tonight, we're revealing Trump's brilliant global chess moves that have world leaders scrambling. From Canada to Greenland to the Panama Canal, Trump's strategic vision is reshaping the international landscape. Kevin O'Leary is actually heading to Mar-a-Lago to discuss merging the U.S. and Canadian economies, while Putin signals openness to peace talks. But here's what the media is not telling you. This isn't just about expansion. It's about securing America's future against Chinese influence. Even Bill Gates is requesting meetings at Mar-a-Lago. The globalists are panicking because they know Trump's vision will destroy their carefully constructed world order. And just as Trump is addressing global pressure points, you need to address your blood pressure naturally. According to a shocking 2024 study, nearly half of all adult Americans, well, they've got high blood pressure, but only 1 in 4 have it under control. That's why I trust GlycoBoost Triple Action Formula with powerful ingredients like white mulberry leaf and cinnamon bark powder. It's designed to manage blood pressure naturally while supporting heart health. Visit boostwithgary.com for up to 40% off during the holiday special. Take control of your health like Trump's taking control of global affairs. So this just broke. President-elect Trump says Bill Gates asked to come to Mar-a-Lago tonight. Oh, he's not waiting. Yeah, you know, Bill Gates is a little concerned about certain lists that might suddenly become public. Lists from a certain person that didn't do something, right? That's what Bill Gates is probably worried about, because Kash Patel has said that those lists are going to become public. And as we await the revealing of those lists and we watch Bill Gates sweat, we have this news. You know, Donald Trump has said that, day one, he is going to bring peace to Russia and Ukraine. All the Middle East wars are going to stop. All the madness in the world that has happened under Joe Biden is going to come to an end. Because why? Well, because we have a true leader on the world stage now. Somebody who knows the art of the deal. And this is wild. This just happened. Putin has now signaled openness to peace talks, signaling Slovakia taking a neutral position in Slovakia. That's where they intend to have these peace talks. So Trump's promise to end the Ukraine war looms large as his White House return approaches. Now, I took this video, I ran it through a translator, so the lips may not line up, so don't worry, but I did a little conversion for you because I know you don't want to hear Russian.
He was really pushed. Good evening.
Earlier today.
Please, what questions do you have? Well, he primarily and mainly spoke about a peaceful settlement in the Ukrainian direction. He was really pushing and advocating for it, as they say.
Now, to be clear, he's not talking about Trump. He is talking about the Slovakian prime minister.
So, I don't know what complaints Europe or anyone else might have against him, but he was talking about this and focused his attention on it. As for the venue, yes, he said that if it comes to negotiations, they would be happy to offer his country as a venue for such talks. We don't mind if it comes to that. Why not? Because Slovakia takes such a neutral position. From our point of view, this position is neutral and it's an acceptable option for us.
So peace talks are already operating in the background. And we have this. Now, this is from a couple days ago, but Trump told Canada that if they were to become the 51st state, their taxes would be cut by more than 60%. I mean, Trump is continuing to push this. Now, I'm not sure if this is just an epic troll on his part, some epic negotiation leveraging, but he's continuing to push this. If they were to become the 51st state, their taxes would be cut by more than 60%. Their businesses would be immediately doubled in size, and they would be militarily protected like no other country anywhere in the world. Leading Report published that 2 days ago. As we have this also from Leading Report, Trump's border czar Tom Homan vows to build family facilities to detain and deport the large number of migrants, and it will not be inhumane. Of course, the media narrative is going to twist that. But for them to build family facilities for these deportations is it's pretty wild. And now this. Imagine Kevin O'Leary pitches Trump Canada like Shark Tank. Hello, sharks, I'm seeking $1 trillion in exchange for Canada. Yeah, is that really going to happen? There's a huge benefit to be gained here. Eric Darty. We do not even need to make them a state, which is more difficult. And he was quote tweeting himself. He said, Greenland's a territory of Denmark, but governs itself. The U.S. would stand economically and geopolitically to gain if we bring Greenland into, and Canada is U.S. territories. Greenland and Canada as U.S. territories. Keeping their governments intact as normal, we would get all of the geopolitical benefits without having to deal with the problems that come with statehood, i.e. the political battles that would ensue. The conversation is developing. Personally, I don't see this ever happening, especially with Canada. Maybe Greenland, but, this one here, I Love America News, it would be the biggest political victory since Columbus claimed the New World for Spain. Denmark cannot defend Greenland. Oh boy. Neil Axelrod. Denmark cannot defend Greenland, which is why the U.S. has maintained a military presence there since World War II and through the Cold War. It would make some sense to make Greenland a U.S. territory, but Canada, no thanks. Let them fight amongst themselves. We don't need that noise. Oh, there's more, though. Okay, so here it is. Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary, a Canadian, says he likes the idea of combining the U.S. and Canadian economy, says he's heading to Mar-a-Lago to start the talks. This is turning out from trolling to sounding like even more of a reality, but I don't know how this is gonna unfold. O'Leary said half of Canadians are interested in Trump's proposal. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Canada, and there's 41 million Canadians, basically the population of California, sitting on the world's largest amounts of all resources, including the most important, energy and water. Canadians over the holidays, the last 2 days, have been talking about this. They want to hear more. And so, there's obviously a lot of issues, more details, but what this could be is the beginning of an economic union. Think about the power of combining the two economies, erasing the border between Canada and the United States, and putting all that resource up to the northern borders where China and Russia are knocking on the door. So secure that, give a common currency, figure out taxes across the board, get everything trading both ways, create a new, almost EU-like passport. I like this idea, and at least half of Canadians are interested. The problem is the government's collapsing in Canada right now. Nobody wants Trudeau to negotiate this deal. I don't want him doing it for me, so I'm going to go to Mar-a-Lago. I'll start the narrative. The 41 million Canadians, I think most of them would trust me on this deal.
Wait a second. Did you hear what he said? Erasing the border, creating a new currency? Wait a second. Do you guys remember the North American Union talk from so many years ago? And a new currency that they were going to create called the Amero? Do you remember all that hysteria? And the NAFTA superhighway? Now I'm getting freaked out. A new currency? I don't know about that, buddy. All right. How do you merge these economies? Erasing the border? Oh boy, I'm getting freaked out now. I totally remember that map. You guys remember it, don't you? The map that showed Mexico, US, and Canada as the North American Union? Is this what we're leading towards? Okay, oh my goodness. If you think about them just being a territory, that's totally one thing. Greenland, a territory. Puerto Rico is a territory. But creating a new currency, Mr. O'Leary? Come on, man. That's what you're going to pitch to Trump when you go to Mar-a-Lago? No thanks, buddy. No thanks at all. Wow. Now I'm totally freaked out. You guys remember that. I know you do. Okay. Here's CNN's David Urban saying that Trump's Greenland-Panama Canal strategies aren't just bold, they're brilliant. Citing historical precedent and strategic necessity, he explains how Trump's moves echo Monroe Doctrine principles, protecting American interests from the Chinese. Listen to this.
Given the way, if it's true this is all just a negotiating tactic, and we have seen this before from Trump in his first term and since then, why would you expect Panama, Canada, and Denmark, they're all allies of the U.S. Denmark and Canada are treaty allies. With mutual defense treaties with both of them under NATO. Why would you expect them or the president-elect to respond to this kind of brinksmanship positively, given the way he's talking about taking their land?
Yeah, so, Jim, I'm not sure he's talking their land. I think,
there's the Monroe Doctrine, which I know everyone is familiar with, or maybe people aren't familiar with, but the
sphere of influence, American sphere,
in the Western Hemisphere, right? And then there was the Roosevelt corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, which allowed you to carry a big stick and kind of work up and down the Americas to keep American interests at bay. And now this is the Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine, right? We're going to have that to secure America. Look, the United States has looked to buy Greenland before. In 1867, the State Department said we should buy Greenland. At the same time, we were buying Alaska from the Russians. In 1946, President Truman tried to buy Greenland from the Democrats, recognizing its strategic importance, its geopolitical significance, its mineral assets there. So it's not a crazy idea. It's been thought about a bunch of times before. The Panama Canal completely, we've seen this before. George H.W. Bush, when the treaty was signed in 77 and ratified, there was an out for America. The neutrality of the Panama Canal was ever threatened. We could use our military force to go back and make it neutral again. We did that in 1989.
Wait, are you saying Trump is talking about using military force to take the Panama Canal back?
No, listen, Jim, I'm saying that there is an out in the canal, in the treaty, that says if the neutrality of the canal is ever threatened by the Chinese or whomever else, the United States has the right to go back in. We did that before in Operation Just Cause. We did it to topple Manuel Noriega and put in a new president. We could presumably do it again. The Trudeau piece, I think he's trolling them. We couldn't.
That would be quite a use of military force, considering the American First agenda, which seems to be about pulling back from military adventures abroad. Mondaire Jones, I wonder.
However, that.
But let me give Mondaire a chance to respond, because
it's about enforcing the treaty. If we're not being treated fairly in Panama because they're inflating all of the fees for our ships to go across, and China's in control when they claim that China's not, we need to revisit that treaty. I mean, that's our duty. Wow. Here we have this. World leaders on high alert. News Nation guest warns that Trump's wild cards on Greenland, Canada, and Panama Canal are sending shockwaves across the globe.
Tariffs with going into these next 25 days. Get ready, because
this is Alex Sands. He's the deputy editor and politics director of AJC. This is News Nation.
Going into these next 25 days, get ready, because we are entering this new era of American governance, which is very different than what we've seen the past number of years, and potentially even more different than what we saw during the first Trump administration. I think when you look at the big picture of what's happening with a lot of these posts around Panama, around Canada, around Greenland, we're looking at pressure coming at different directions, whether it's tariffs, whether it's shipping, whether it's the president's elect's view on what the world order should be. In the past, we've seen these as negotiating tactics, as let's try to bring everyone to the table, have the conversation, but also the pressure campaign, as we've seen even here with the congressional nominations for his cabinet and the reaction from Congress. It is beginning to have a conversation, and this conversation is now happening essentially every day in almost every corner of the world. As
did you see that post?
I'm
going to bring it back a second. Here's the post from Donald Trump. Merry Christmas to all, including to the wonderful soldiers of China who are lovingly but illegally operating the Panama Canal, where we lost 38,000 people in its building 110 years ago, always making certain that the U.S. puts in billions of dollars in repair money, but we have nothing to say. There's President Trump making that declaration on truth.
To have a conversation, and this conversation is now happening essentially every day in almost every corner of the world, as many people, world leaders and people here in this country, wonder what will happen on day one. Potentially what we're seeing now is that foundation being laid for a very interesting first couple of days, first 100 days and beyond, of what America could look like, what policies could look like going into this second Trump administration.
I agree with you when you say in the past we have seen President Trump make these bold statements to set up negotiations. Do you believe that is likely likely the strategy here? And if so, do you think it will bring leaders to the negotiating table? Is it effective?
Now, before he responds, that's what I believe this is. I believe this is all bluster, and it's designed to begin the negotiations with these countries so that we can have fair trade and fair access. Now, is Trump going to send troops down there? I don't know. Does he have the authority to do so? He certainly does. And that's where he's carrying the big stick. And that's why world leaders are freaking out, because he is upsetting the whole world order right now with just some posts on Truth Social, and he's not even president yet. Let's hear what this guy has to say at News Nation.
In some cases, it is. And we have seen already, just over the past month or so, we have seen Justin Trudeau of Canada fly down to Mar-a-Lago to meet with President-elect Trump. He heard the message about the tariffs. He heard the barbs that were being traded among those in South Florida of Governor Justin Trudeau. He heard the message and potentially knows that there could be a major economic impact on Canada if President-elect Trump really goes ahead and doubles down and sees through potentially a very high tariff. So world leaders in North America and really around the world are paying attention. And again, because President-elect Trump in the past has sometimes said one thing, done something else, sometimes the same thing, there's always an element of how far will he go? What will he do? What will he not do? But time and again, world leaders know to take him seriously, because this is not a conventional administration. And this time, without having the prospect of re-election in 4 years, and given what he said about potentially pushing boundaries across every aspect of governance, there are many wild cards going into January, and this is one of the big ones.
You know, he said this is not a conventional administration, because a conventional administration would bend the knee to the globalists. Donald Trump is not about to do that, and he's going to take every arrow in his quiver, and he's going to wave it around saying, hey, guess what? We have the authority to do these things. And we're going to leverage our authority on the world stage to at least bring people to the negotiating table, because that's where Donald Trump shines. Here we have, this is CNN. Trump's talk of absorbing Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal. Trump's former Defense Secretary Mark Esper says it is all a negotiating tactic, just like I said. But Esper warns China's deepening grip on Greenland's rare earths and Panama's ports could be the real story. Listen here.
Greenland and Panama. Amidst all of this, Mr. Secretary, President-elect Trump has been talking a lot about potentially expanding U.S. territory. He's talked about absorbing Canada and Greenland. Now he's suggesting taking control of the Panama Canal, just like he did in his first term, talked about it. You worked under Trump. Is this something that he's seriously considering?
Well, we don't know. I think the best assessment is that it's a negotiating tactic, whether it's he's trying to reduce shipping rates in the Panama Canal or just somehow interested in acquiring Greenland. I don't know. But to me, the common thread that I think is an important one are Chinese pursuing interests in both Greenland and Panama. We know that in Greenland, for example, it's believed to include nearly a quarter of the world's strategic reserves of rare earth materials, lithium, graphite, things like that. And the Chinese, for years, have been trying to get in there to set up mines and to mine that and to continue to dominate those sectors. And likewise in Panama, we know the 5 ports down there, they control 2 of them. And we know, or at least I believe, that there are government people down there collecting data on shipping, monitoring traffic, conducting espionage, and we should be very concerned about Chinese presence in Panama, and of course not just Panama, but all of Latin America.
Donald Trump is trying to get ahead of China. That's the bottom line. But this guy, Kevin O'Leary, I love him, but yeah, this whole erasing the border and the new currency, come on, man. Let's not go there, all right? I'm not about a North American Union. Okay. Now, what we've uncovered tonight, it goes beyond traditional diplomacy. Trump's strategic moves with Canada, Greenland, and the Panama Canal aren't just about expanding American influence, they're about securing our economic and military future. While the mainstream media mocks these proposals, world leaders are taking notice. Putin's openness to peace talks proves that Trump's approach works. Former Defense Secretary Esper calls it a negotiating tactic, but here's the truth. China's growing influence in Greenland's rare earth minerals and Panama's ports pose the real threat to American interests. Trump's bold vision isn't just about making deals, it's about protecting America's future. So here is the burning question. Is Trump's aggressive global strategy the only way to counter China's economic warfare? Share your thoughts below. And show your support for America First foreign policy with our exclusive MAGA Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Wow. That was wild. Oh, yeah, that was wild. Okay, let's see. We have someone here. Let's see. This is from Vicky. What's up, Vicky? $10, thank you, $9.99. We can never let go of our eternal hope, never quit, and never give up. And Deborah Myers dropping $5. She says, thank you, Gary, for all you do. I know it isn't much, but next month I'll be able to gift more. Money is tight after Christmas. I live 1.5 hours from the New York-Canada border. Well, thank you, Deborah, for your support in that regard. And we're still at 20 members. We're at $28.58 in chat revenue. Do you guys remember that? Do you guys remember that North American Union? Man, that freaked me out. Holy cow. Now, I mean, yeah, that's where we're at. No, thank you, Kevin O'Leary. Okay, let's get to our fourth topic of the evening. Moving right along. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, while America struggles, Joe Biden is jetting off to St. Croix for yet another luxury vacation. His 570th day away from the White House. That's right, nearly 40% of his presidency spent on vacation. But tonight, we're exposing something even more shocking. New photos have emerged showing Biden meeting with Hunter's Chinese business partners just days before leaving office as vice president. Meanwhile, homelessness rates are skyrocketing, our borders in chaos, and Americans can barely afford groceries. Even CNN is now asking if Biden will be remembered as nothing more than the guy who was just in between the Trump terms. And just as Americans are suffering under Biden's policies, millions are suffering from daily aches and pains. But there is hope. Top medical experts have unveiled Canalidine, a revolutionary 100% drug-free solution that optimizes your body's natural painkillers. Already trusted by over 1 million Americans and professional athletes, Canalidine is legal worldwide and proven safe through 14 years of clinical research. Unlike dangerous pills, it causes no side effects or addiction. And you can try it today for less than $1 a day at trycano.com/NNN. It's linked down below. Don't let pain control your life. You've got nothing to lose but your pain. Okay, lots to get into right now. President Trump has a mandate to secure the border. No amount of Trump-proofing can change that. Eric Schmidt posting this.
By the way, if it's executive order, President Trump can undo that. If it's some sort of administrative rule, Congress can come in under the Congressional Review Act and reverse that. I haven't seen that specifically, but this is Joe Biden on the way out doing what he did on the way in, which was reversing all the success we had under President Trump. There were 94 executive orders that Joe Biden did in the first 100 days to undo that success. President Trump, I would expect, as he alluded to in that clip, to come in and secure the border, bring back Remain in Mexico. You're going to see deportations of these illegal immigrants that are terrorizing our communities, the flood of fentanyl that's coming in and killing our neighbors, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins. And so President Trump ran on this. This was part of his mandate. It's part of the reason why he swept all the battleground states and won the popular vote. The American people don't want to see an open border. These aren't just white papers anymore, John. These people got in charge and they wreaked havoc on our country. And President Trump's coming in and Holman's coming in, and they're going to do what they said they were going to do, which is deport these criminals who are taking over apartment complexes, lighting people on fire on New York subways. I mean, we saw that news yesterday. I mean, this stuff's nuts, and I think the American people are going to welcome this.
Well, the American people are certainly waiting for President Trump. Here we have this young lady, Wait till you hear what she has to say. Worst president our country has ever seen.
On. Biden, not only are you the worst president in the history of our country, you don't deserve to hold the title of president. From now on, I think that everybody should address you as Mr. Biden. But what is your legacy going to be? I'll tell you exactly what it's going to be. You will first off be remembered as the guy who didn't make the cut in 2016. It would have made sense for you to run for president in 2016 because you were coming off of being Obama's VP. You didn't make the cut in 2016 because Hillary Clinton at that time was a stronger candidate than you. Then you reemerge in 2020 and claim the presidency and become the absolute worst president that our country has ever seen. Out of all the people who have been president, going back to George Washington, you take the cake for the worst, the most incompetent, the most foolish president, and the absolute worst administration that this nation has ever seen. Full of liars, thieves, and hypocrites. Biden not only...
I wonder who she voted for, right? We got 28 days, 24 days until true leadership is back. Crooked Joe Biden and Jill arrive in St. Croix in the Virgin Islands for a week in the sun at the taxpayers' expense. Biden has spent 570 days, nearly 40% of his entire presidency, on vacation. Thanks, Joe. Leading report following up. Yes, Biden spent nearly 40% of his presidency on vacation. And here we have this: rules for thee and not for me. Basically, the Biden legacy at this point. New York Post releasing this just 10 hours ago. Feds finally release photos showing then VP Biden meeting Sun Hunter's Chinese business partners days before he leaves office. Remember they said this never happened? Oh, I never talked to Hunter's business partners. Oh, there they are. There's the photographic proof. More lies from this administration. Is anyone surprised by this? 7 hours ago, I know I'm not. Emily Bobkler says Biden was practically a Chinese operative. Perhaps his legacy will be POTUS, who allowed the most spies into the United States. Did you see this headline? Chinese operatives and spies continue to be arrested in the United States. Wait a minute. I wonder why that would be. Oh, Joe Biden's Chinese ties. Just let all those Chinese spies in. The latest includes 2 Chinese spies in California and several arrested in Guam near a U.S. military base. Spy games. Chinese operatives arrested in California and Guam as espionage concerns rise. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for all your work with China. Joe Biden's legacy. Ironic that he and his wife are enjoying themselves in St. Croix on another vacation. Homelessness rates jumped by double digits in 2024 as Americans battled to afford housing. So homelessness is up by double digits during the Biden final year. And then we have this, a reminder that Biden's on vacation. The new $1.25 billion to Ukraine was decided by deep state actors, not Biden. Eric Darty reporting this. So Biden's on vacation, and somehow people are deciding to send more money to Ukraine. Who's making those decisions? Hunter? And this is good news. More destruction of the Biden legacy. January 6th, that day where they took political prisoners, Joe Biden took political prisoners. Well, now they've launched a $50 billion class action lawsuit. MAGA Voice reporting. He says, pardon and compensate all J6 patriots. This is a massive win. This looks like it is, maybe it's from the Gateway Pundit. January 6th, political prisoners launch historic $50 billion class action lawsuit against the DOJ. Oh, yeah. We also have this. This is good news. Florida State Representative Hillary Cassell announces she's switching from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. This is another sign of the Biden legacy crumbling, the Democrat Party crumbling. People are jumping ship. They do not want to be associated with that party anymore. Meanwhile, we have Rolling Stone, Julie Kelly posting this 12 hours ago. Confirmed reports that Jack Smith, his prosecutors, and even staffers are lawyering up and terrified about the prospect of a Trump DOJ investigation into the special counsel's office. Another artifact of the Biden administration and the lawfare against President Trump. I wonder why they'd want to lawyer up. Did they do something wrong? Maybe they should be seeking pardons from Joe Biden. Get on that list, right? Let's take a deeper look at this. Multiple people, she reports, Julie Kelly, multiple people who work with Smith and his core team have preemptively reviewed their private and professional communications to make sure they hadn't written anything that could be subpoenaed, publicly revealed, and used against them to paint a narrative of alleged misconduct or supposed anti-Trump bias. Smith and his team of thugs are considering how to protect their assets, including their spouses, and prevent going bankrupt. Wow. They should be terrified. After what they did? She continues to quote here, some federal investigators, including more junior staff, have talked to attorneys and legal groups about possible ways a rejuvenated Trump Justice Department could try to make their lives hell. They're worried about their lives being made hell. What about the Trump family's lives that were made hell during that Biden administration, during that campaign? Oh, makes me so mad. They're looking at what precautionary measures they should take and even how to avoid going bankrupt if the revenge probes come in full force. That's according to the source. Hunters are now the hunted, and it is about time. Oh, talk about retribution, my friends. It's coming. It's coming. Now, I know Donald Trump said that his retribution, his revenge will be his success. But what's going to happen with Kash Patel and Pam Bondi at the head of the DOJ and the FBI? Oh, yeah, they're just doing some investigating into some previous work done by the previous administration. Let's see what they uncover. And now they're lawyering up. We report on this, too, the other day. Lindy Lee's exit from the Democrat Party, describing it as like leaving a cult. But, of course, they all said that MAGA was the cult. Remember that? And here's the video of Joe Biden heading out to the Virgin Islands, getting ready to take the short stairs up Air Force One. But Lawrence O'Donnell seems to be concerned, as well as Pete Buttigieg. This is like ridiculous. They're afraid that Trump will take credit for Biden's tunnel from New York to New Jersey. They're worried about that. Paul Zapula says, I'm pretty sure Trump could care less about a tunnel. He cares about deporting illegals, securing our border, fixing our economy, and ending war.
We call it the Biden tunnel. Construction began this year on the new tunnel. For the next 100 years, people will be driving through that tunnel and they will have no idea who did that. They should call it the Biden tunnel. Secretary Pete Buttigieg is back with us, and you know Donald Trump is going to take credit for that tunnel.
Absolutely. I mean, look, we've created a pipeline of good projects that are going to play out over the next few years.
Construction began.
Oh, spare me, Lawrence O'Donnell. Stop the hammering! Oh, boy. This is great. I'm willing to bet all the stories of Biden being mentally incapacitated are leaking from Kamala's team. They're both trying to destroy each other and taking the party with them. Bob Ward and Tim Young commenting, likely on that Wall Street Journal report. And here we have the former Obama fundraiser exposing the Democrats, once the party of the working class and free speech, now hijacked by big tech and radical leftists from censorship to woke policies. The realignment is undeniable. Is this the end of the Democrat Party?
In California,
the presidential prospects of 2028.
So, Allison, all of these names are failed governors, and the so-called moderates couldn't even deliver Kamala Harris their states, and yet this is who they're relying on. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if you're not doing a good job with your local politics or your state politics, like the state of California, Gavin Newsom has not been doing a very good job. Look at our homeless situation. Look at the economy in California. A lot of companies have been relocating to Florida and Texas. So if you're not doing a good job in your state or your city, you should not be promoted to the national level, bottom line.
So just to follow up with you, Allison, because you were an Obama fundraiser, and now you are completely frustrated with the Democratic Party. So what attracted you to the Democrats in the first place that no longer keeps you in their camp?
That's a really good question. I believe that there's a realignment. It used to be the Democratic Party. The Dems were supporting the working class, the middle class. It was the party of free speech, no censorship. And yet now the tables have turned. They're in cahoots with big tech. Look at what they did during the election and suppressing certain information about Donald Trump. When you search for Donald Trump, Kamala Harris came up on Google. When you try to search for the Joe Rogan podcast, it was very difficult to find on YouTube. So there is now a realignment. And basically, they've allowed the radical left to hijack the party.
Well,
Katie,
Go ahead.
I'm a soccer mom. I run the team school board in Silicon Valley. And when I have these radical activists interrupt me during my school board meeting, I shut them down. We have to focus on practical matters. We need to pay the teachers. We need to pay the school bus drivers. We need to provide curriculum, practical science and math, literature for our children, not this DEI woke stuff that's very divisive.
Yeah,
and so in these school boards,
solving real problems for the people that they represent. Exactly. So, Charlie, she speaks of the far left.
A former Obama fundraiser defecting to the Republican Party. That's how bad it is. And here we have a CNN panelist dropping a bombshell. Biden risks being remembered as the guy who was just in between the Trump terms as his approval ratings fall.
Signed off on there to burnish them. Isaac, if you look at the legislative record, particularly the first 2 years, it doesn't have much precedent over the course of the last 5 decades, right? And that's a lot of what they've been doing the last couple months has been trying to push out all the money that was already signed off on there to burnish that legacy. But in terms of how people view the president right now, I think what's stunning to me, the latest Quinnipiac University poll, his approval is at 38% right now. In December of 2020, Donald Trump's approval, after he'd lost the election, was 44%. Now, that was pre-January 6th. After January 6th, his approval was 34%. That's kind of within the margin of where Biden is right now. And Donald Trump had January 6th. Right. Legacy-wise, where are we right now, legacy-wise?
He had, I think you're right, a historic first couple of years in office, more legislation on the domestic front than anybody going back to Lyndon Johnson can claim credit for. I do think that what you've seen is a slow receding into the bushes from Joe Biden here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring up a West Wing quote here. There's a moment on the West Wing when John Spencer, as Leo McGarry, the White House chief of staff, says he's like trying to rally the troops, and he says, we can do more, we can affect more change in one day in this building than we will in a lifetime after we leave the building. That is not the approach that Joe Biden has been taking, at least publicly, since the election, certainly, and even since he ceded the nomination to Kamala Harris. But there are things that he could be doing through executive authority. A lot of things that he could be doing would probably put a target on them for Donald Trump to go after first. It does not seem like taking another vacation now is the kind of running through the tape mentality that White House staff has said he and the whole building is approaching things with. I think it's a really difficult thing for Joe Biden to know that he came into the presidency as a rejection of Donald Trump, and here he is being replaced by Donald Trump. I think back to an interview that I did with Joe Biden. He'd been president for about 3 weeks. I was talking to him for a book that I wrote, and part of the takeaway that I had from it was him trying to assert himself as Joe Biden, the guy who got elected president, not just Barack Obama's vice president, not just the guy who beat Donald Trump. But now that is part of who he is, and it may define who he is. A couple weeks before the election, I had a conversation with a senior person in the White House, and I said, if Harris loses, most of the way that Biden is going to be remembered, at least in the short term, is the guy who was just in between the Trump terms. And the person's like, no, No, that's not true. At this moment, that is the way that he is acting.
Isaac.
The guy between two Trump terms. Yeah, just a placeholder. You know, had they just let him win that election, he wouldn't have had all this time to plot his return. And now, Joe Biden on vacation, the left, people jumping ship, and it's a beautiful thing to witness. We're almost there, folks. Keep your guard up, okay? The evidence that we have now presented paints a clear picture of Biden's failed presidency, from his endless vacations to his family's questionable business dealings, from skyrocketing homelessness to economic chaos. This is the real Biden legacy. Even his own party is jumping ship, with Florida State Rep. Hillary Cassell switching to the Republican Party. Meanwhile, Jack Smith and his prosecutors are lawyering up, terrified of what a Trump Justice Department might uncover. Yes, the walls are closing in, and Biden's response, another vacation in St. Croix, while Americans struggle to make ends meet. So here's tonight's question that's dividing the nation. When the history books are written, will Biden's presidency be remembered as the most catastrophic failure in American history, or just the most corrupt? Share your thoughts below. And stand against the Biden disaster with our exclusive Mag Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It is linked down below. Oh, man. It's like a slow motion train wreck, and you can't look away. F. Joe Biden, $5, raising a question for me. Question for you to research, Gary. How much has Biden cost Americans in useless spending on vacations and personal things? Yeah, that's a great question. And Curio 23, you pair well with the chicks on the right. Keep on keeping on. Thank you for that $5, Curio. All right. And now this is what is all the narrative right now. Everyone on X, people going crazy. I didn't quite know how to handle this topic, because sometimes these things, there's a lot of dust, and I like to wait for the dust to settle before I can get a clear picture of things. And it's becoming a lot more clear. Now, before we get into it, remember a couple days ago we talked about a wedge being driven between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Now, it appears as though there is now a wedge that is forming. We're all waiting for Donald Trump to respond. But we do have some past remarks that he's made that give us an indicator of how he might respond to this visa debate that was started by Elon Musk. So let's get into it. Tonight, we're diving into the explosive debate that is dividing the America First movement. Elon Musk's call to dramatically increase H1B visas has ignited a firestorm, with Laura Loomer suspended after challenging his stance. Silicon Valley claims America desperately needs foreign talent, with the semiconductor industry alone demanding 160,000 engineers by 2032. But here's what they're not telling you. This isn't just about talent, it's about replacing American workers with cheaper foreign labor. Even Trump's own allies are split, with some backing Musk's vision, while others stand firm on his 2016 promise to end H1B abuse. And just as we fight to preserve American jobs, we must fight to preserve America's natural food chain. The crisis facing our bee population threatens our very food security. And that's why Patriot Bee Best is taking action, creating an educational platform to save America's bees and our republic. And for less than 17 cents a day, you can join this crucial mission to restore our bee population. Link down below. Visit patriotbeebest.com and use code NEXTNEWS for 25% off of your monthly subscription. Don't wait until our grocery shelves are empty. Join the hive and catch the buzz today. Okay, there's a lot to unpack in this report. And I needed to let some of that dust settle before I could see clearly about what's happening. And there's a lot of layers to this onion to peel back. And some people's eyes might begin to water, especially this post that was just made 2 hours ago. And this is disturbing. Elon Musk has suspended several X accounts that criticize his and Vivek Ramaswamy's proposal to bring in tens of millions of immigrants to replace American workers. And here is the general's photograph of these posts that no longer exist. And these are people who are challenging Elon Musk. That is a lie. Do you make this lie? Where do you find this lie? These are all posts. Elon Musk responding, and then boom, the accounts are nuked. And this is the actual comment thread before the account was nuked. USA reject is the poster. I found it elsewhere. Is it fake? Where did you find this lie? It was posted on Reddit. My mistake. I didn't realize it was forged. Elon Musk calling him a liar. And then nuking the account. Very troubling to consider that if you oppose this position, then your account on X could get nuked. Oh, and Laura Loomer, she is on fire about this. Now, before we get into the details of the actual debate, this is what kicked it off a couple days ago. All right, it was Mario Nafal making this post, Silicon Valley's biggest limitation, engineering talent shortage. The U.S. semiconductor industry alone needs over 160,000 engineers by 2032, driven by $250 billion in new investment. Demand for AI experts has skyrocketed, with Elon calling the talent war the craziest ever. Elon Musk responded. He said, no, we need more like double that number yesterday. The number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the U.S. is far too low. Think of this like a pro sports team. If you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be. That enables the whole team to win. And even Elon Musk getting a rate proposed community note. There's quite a few here. A recent study conducted, this is needs more ratings. A recent study concluded that over the past 50 years, there's no evidence any serious shortages of engineers or IT specialists ever occurred. If the industry faces a tight labor market, it's self-imposed. This was an article from the year 2000. And there's quite a few here of Elon Musk getting community notes that are still under consideration. But this is the post that kicked it all off. And the firestorm continues. Now, Elon Musk, 6 hours ago, he said, anyone of any race, creed, or nationality who came to America and worked like hell to contribute to this country will forever have my respect. America is the land of freedom and opportunity. Fight with every fiber of your being to keep it that way. Now, remember, Elon Musk is an immigrant. Scott Adams says, MAGA is taking a page from Democrats on how to lose elections while feeling good about themselves. This post also kicked up a firestorm because Elon Musk responded. Neera Tanden. I'm an Indian American who was born here, and it's crystal clear that the Democrat Party sees me as American. A large part of the base of the Republican Party does not. Now, she's clearly calling Republicans racist because they don't see her as American. And then this, Elon Musk, he responds to Scott Adams. Yes, and those contemptible fools must be removed from the Republican Party, root and stem. Now, racism doesn't belong anywhere in this country. Let's be clear. So I see what Elon Musk is saying here, but I mean, for Scott Adams to say this is a page from the Democrats on how to lose elections while feeling good about themselves, it's concerning. Now, Elon Musk clarifies this point. The contemptible fools I'm referring to are those in the Republican Party who are hateful, unrepentant racists. They will absolutely be the downfall of the Republican Party if they are not removed. Well, I don't know. How do you remove those people? And who are they? I mean, remember, they continued, they called Donald Trump a racist every single opportunity that they could. So that term really doesn't hold as much weight as it used to. It really doesn't. So I'm not sure how you're going to find these people, or if everyone's a racist. I mean, apparently we're all racist if we support Donald Trump, right? So how do you clarify that? Okay. There's so much to get to here. All right. I think we should jump down to Donald Trump's remarks that he made. We got some stuff here from Elon Musk as well. So Laura Loomer, of course, she is very vocal about this. She's been affected because she criticized Elon Musk, And here is Donald Trump. This is from, I believe, 2016. And this is Donald Trump's position to end limit H1B visas.
For decades, this company has served the needs of American workers. It's time we had a federal government that does the same. The Buy and Hire American order I'm about to sign will help protect workers and students like those of you in the audience today. This historic action declares that the policy of our government is to aggressively promote and use American-made goods and to ensure that American labor is hired to do the job. Right now, widespread abuse in our immigration system is allowing American workers of all backgrounds to be replaced by workers brought in from other countries to fill the same job for sometimes less pay. This will stop. American workers have long called for reforms to end these visa abuses, and today their calls are being answered for the first time.
That was Donald Trump in 2016. Philip Anderson says Americans do not want to be replaced by foreigners. We do not want to be replaced illegally. We do not want to be replaced legally. Normal flow of legal immigration is one thing, but we oppose all increases. Baked Alaska. Greatly increase legal immigration when natural-born Americans can't even find jobs. Make it make sense. He's responding to Elon Musk. Elon Musk started this discussion. Here is more from Donald Trump in 2016. This guy, Bada Bing Nationalist, he says, this is the original 2016 message on H1B visas by Donald Trump that made me love him so much.
This in terms of you, but it's very bad. It's very bad for business in terms of, it's very bad for our workers, and it's unfair for our workers, and we should end it.
Now this was posted by Chicago One Ray. Trump issues executive order H1B 2B visas. Silicon Valley has exploited these people for years, driving down wages in the tech sector, preventing everyday Americans from getting their jobs, the jobs they trained for. Here is Tucker Carlson.
President Trump just signed an executive order today suspending most U.S. work visas through at least the end of the year. Notably, the order covers both H-2B guest workers and H-1B visas. Both of them, as you know if you watch the show, have been exploited for many years by Silicon Valley to drive down wages in the tech sector and prevent Americans from getting the jobs they trained for at high expense. This order, if it's effective, is a profound and welcome development. When 30 million Americans have been laid off due to coronavirus lockdowns, continuing to replace them with an army of low-wage foreign nationals isn't just wrong, it's insane. Protecting American workers, meanwhile, isn't simply right, it's popular. People support it across party lines. Why wouldn't they? A Washington Post poll in late April found that 65% of all Americans support a temporary immigration pause. That's a lot more popular than defunding the police. Don't tell Republicans in Congress that, they don't know. But when you do things that help Americans, it turns out that most Americans approve.
And that's really what we need to do. We need to put America first, no matter what. And here we have Elon, Joseph F. USA. Elon supporting legal immigrants shouldn't surprise anybody. He's been talking about it for the whole campaign. It's also Trump's policy. He said recently we should staple a green card to every graduate, even junior college. If you're going to attack anyone, it should be Trump. Well. Let's listen to Donald Trump promising Silicon Valley investors will have as many H1B visa workers as they need. So this appears to be a shift in Trump's position.
Let me just tell
I think, Mr. President, is we need high-skilled workers in this country.
Yes.
We need to recruit the best and brightest from the world. Every
I
time
agree.
we get somebody super intelligent from India or Europe, any country, that's
Three of us
one
are
less-
immigrants, sir.
Yeah, and 3 of the 4 here are immigrants, the ones without the ties. And we can get these great people into our country, and that's a loss for our adversaries and our competitors, and it's a gain for us. But I've never heard you talk about this. Can you please promise us you will give us more ability to import the best and brightest around the world to America?
I do promise, but I happen to.
Now remember, listen to the verbiage that this guy is using. Best and brightest, best and brightest. Those are terms that Donald Trump has used repeatedly. Mexico, they don't send their best and their brightest, right? So it's almost as if he's like kind of baiting Trump into this position by using his own language, because maybe he has his own business interests at stake and he wants more H1B visas so he could have cheaper labor in his business.
That's why I promise. Otherwise, I wouldn't promise. Let me just tell you that it's so sad when we lose people from Harvard, MIT, from the greatest schools and lesser schools that are phenomenal schools also. And what I wanted to do, and I would have done this, but then we had to solve the COVID problem because that came in and, sort of dominated for a little while, as you perhaps know. But what I want to do and what I will do is you graduate from a college, I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card to be able to stay in this country. And that includes junior colleges too. Anybody graduates from a college, you go in there for 2 years or 4 years. If you graduate or you get a doctorate degree from a college, you should be able to stay in this country. And you know more stories than I do, but I know.
I mean, I guess what he's trying to say here is that he doesn't want these people to leave. He wants to incentivize them to stay, especially if they have degrees and they are now valuable members of society because of their education they just received. I can understand that. It's a little shocking to hear it, though.
Stories where people graduated from a top college or from a college and they desperately wanted to stay here. They had a plan for a company, a concept, and they can't. They go back to India, they go back to China. They do the same basic company in those places, and they become multi-billionaires employing thousands and thousands of people, and it could have been done here. And a bigger example is you need a pool of people to work for your companies. You have great companies, and they have to be smart people. Not everybody can be less than smart. You need brilliant people. And we force the brilliant people, the people that graduate from college, the people that are number one in their class from the best colleges. You have to be able to recruit these people.
I think.
Wow. Okay, let's take a listen here. This is what Marjorie Taylor Greene posted just 13 hours ago. All right. She says, "Good gracious. I came out of Christmas bliss to see arguments about American labor versus H1B imported labor and MAGA split over the issue." Personally, guys, let me just pause Marjorie's remarks. I cannot stand when a movement gets fractured, because that is when we are most susceptible to defeat. I don't want to see all this happening. Okay? I didn't even want to report on this, but we have to come to some level of resolution so we can. I'm concerned. Now we got all these people who are turning on Elon Musk, or turning on Vivek Ramaswamy. All I want to see is these guys succeed in Doge and cutting the fat from our federal government. I want to see that in action. Now, of course, we have to question, like, what's happening now? If Elon is out there and he's saying we need to have all these H1B visas and he wants them to work for his businesses, now people are going to be questioning what his line items are for Doge if he's working for his own interests. You see the problem here? Anyway. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she comes out of Christmas bliss. And she sees MAGA split. She says, good, that means everyone's engaged in saving this country. Here's some tough reality for some of you. There's some big MAGA voices with large social media platforms throwing down their opinions, yet they have never run a company that relies on thousands of skilled, highly trained workers with a constant need for reliable labor, yet they claim authority over the subject matter. What's she talking about here? Constant need for reliable labor. The only thing that comes to my mind is when you see those people on the corner at Home Depot in Phoenix. She continues, when you spend years trying to constantly hire, train, maintain a good, reliable workforce, which is a 24/7 never-ending cycle, your real-world experience will produce an opinion based on reality, and all your followers on X don't translate to this. Having owned a construction company for decades, yes, I'm that old, I know firsthand our workforce issues. However, I truly believe we must make the hard and necessary changes here in the U.S. to educate, build, and facilitate a solid foundation of knowledgeable, highly skilled, talented, well-paid American workers. I'm 100% on top. I'm on board with that. We need to educate American workers first, and they should be put to the front of the line for all of these positions. She goes on to state that not having this is like having a crumbling foundation in our house, and currently we are importing foreigners to hold up the foundation walls and plug the leaks. Too many of our young people are killing their bodies and minds on alcohol and drugs, wasting years and money earning useless college degrees, chasing unrealistic dreams, spending all their time trying to be the next YouTube content creator, social media influencer, instead of pursuing a useful skill set, trade, education in order to become part of our much-needed American workforce. That's true. I mean, how many Instagram people do you see? How many new YouTubers are popping up every day? Now, let's be clear. I've been doing this channel for 13 years. Before I had this channel, I was in the streets. I was on radio. I was publishing a magazine. I was making documentary films. I was burning DVDs. The ragtag group in Chicago, passing them out. Standing on a corner with a bullhorn. Okay, so I'm not just like one of these YouTubers that's just trying to get up and get famous. Okay? I've been blessed with this platform because of the hard work I've already put in, because I love this country. But there are people coming up that think that their whole lives are going to be revolving around their influencer community. And that's sad. And she's right. We need to have people. People are not focused on the like she says, useful skill sets, trades, education to go into places. Now, I don't know what the true ratio is of people going into trying to be influencers versus people trying to get real jobs. But there's an inflated reality that is being put out on social media to draw people in with that sweet honey of fame. And it's not good. She says, if you fall in this category, put down the selfie light and go apply for a job and replace the H1B visa holders and all the other skilled labor jobs that foreign workers are taking and American companies are desperately trying to hire. It's called building a career. You work your way up. In order to go forward, we must change our education system. Our education system is broken, friends. It is broken. She says we need to create a culture that respects hard work and productivity, cut government waste spending regulations in order to produce a healthy, robust economy that lowers inflation, pays higher wages to American workers so the H-1B is no longer needed and can be done away with. Decades of America Last bad decisions in Washington wove a giant web of America Last policies that created systems and structures that must be torn down and rebuilt to put America first. It won't be easy, she says. It won't be as quick as we'd like, but we can do it together, and the results will make America great again, but even better than before. She got 2.7 million views on that post. And here's President Trump. This is back in 2016, talking about that very topic. This was a reply to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Statement on President Trump on visas in 2016, March 3rd. Megyn Kelly asked about highly skilled immigration. The H1B program is neither highly skilled nor immigration. These are temporary foreign workers imported from abroad for the explicit purpose of substituting for American workers at lower pay. I remain totally committed to eliminating rampant, widespread H1B abuse and ending outrageous practices such as those that occurred at Disney in Florida when Americans were forced to train their foreign replacements. Remember that? I will end forever the use of the H1B as a cheap labor program and institute an absolute requirement to hire American workers first for every visa and immigration program, no exceptions. That was in 2016. That's what President Trump had to say. Scott Rasmussen says, step one is securing the border. There is no point in debating the rest of immigration policy if that's not accomplished. Well, I know that President Trump's about to do that. Okay. We got some remarks from Vivek Ramaswamy that he's made on this. 19 hours ago, he said, I said it countless times in the last 2 years, and I'll say it again. He says the H-1B system is badly broken and should be replaced with one that focuses on selecting the very best of the best, not a lottery. But I want to get Loomer's remarks for you. Here's another one from Geiger Capital a day ago. When Vivek was running for president, he fully understood the H-1B system was being abused at the expense of Americans. He even said it allows big tech companies to hire indentured servants. Yes, we want to recruit the best global talent, but the system is clearly broken. We have these remarks here of Charlie Kirk and Vivek that was just published by Tara Bull. I believe this is an older clip, but I need to get Laura Loomer here. I know I have her. Okay, here's another one. This is Tucker calling out the H-1B and other visa scams.
Workforce. The rideshare company Uber has fired more than 1,000 workers since July, mostly Americans. That's about 2% of its workforce. Meanwhile, during the same period, the federal government has approved hundreds of new H-1B visas for Uber. And that means they can replace those workers with foreign scabs who will work for less. It's like outsourcing, but even easier because Uber doesn't even have to build a new building. Now, there's nothing unusual about what Uber is doing. There's bipartisan consensus in Washington that we desperately need smart people from overseas to do the jobs that Americans are too badly educated to do. No reason to fix our schools or make sure higher education is serious and non-frivolous. We can just import people from countries that take education seriously. And that's what we do. That's why the U.S. government passes out foreign worker visas to allow corporations to replace people like you with people who live 6,000 miles away. Now, you probably haven't even heard of the F1 optional practical training program, but in just 4 years, from 2009 to 2013, that program replaced nearly 500,000 American jobs. The program allows foreign students who studied American universities to stay in the country after they graduate. In other words, we're just going to staple a green card to their diploma. You probably heard that phrase recently. And since employers who use F-1B visas are not required to pay payroll taxes, they get, in effect, a tax subsidy for hiring foreigners over U.S. citizens. How's that for America Last? Maybe the program would make sense if Americans really couldn't fill all those jobs, but it turns out there are plenty who could. Just ask the thousands who were recently laid off by Uber. According to the Economic Policy Institute, fully half of all American STEM majors, that is people who study technology, don't end up working in STEM jobs.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? The only people who actually benefit from these visa programs are tech billionaires in Silicon Valley. They're getting richer no matter what. And the foreign nationals who want to live in San Francisco. And our government makes it easy for them to do that. Who gets hurt? Well, among others, the college graduates who took on huge amounts of student loan debt only to be dumped into a system where their foreign replacements get preference over them.
Wow.
This is happening on a grand scale, and both parties are for it, including many Republicans in Washington. It tells you a lot about where their priorities are.
Wow. Tucker Carlson back when he was on Fox, spitting fire. But we have this. Elon Musk suspended MAGA influencer Laura Loomer after she spent the entire day calling him out over his support for H1B visas. She posted this: "What happened? We've determined you have violated X rules, so we've temporarily limited some of your account features. Well, in this state, you can still browse, but you're limited to only sending direct messages to your followers, no posts, reposts, follows, or likes. Your account will be restored to full functionality." I've got a longer clip of Laura. Here it is. This is what I want to play for you. She was on with Steve Bannon today and saying she's concerned that Democrats may use the perception to create a narrative that big tech is buying influence and enriching themselves. And she says she just wants to have an open dialogue. Listen to this, guys.
Saying
9-8. Laura Loomer, real quickly, because I know you got to bounce. Number one, what is your beef policy-wise on what the tech bros are trying to do? Give me a minute or so on the beef, and then I want to talk to you about B&D platform. What's your beef?
They're trying to reform original MAGA immigration policy. I posted the video of President Trump from 2016 saying that the H1B visa system is full of abuse and fraud and that he's going to eliminate it. You have these tech billionaires who think that they can just buy influence and walk into Mar-a-Lago and try to tell us that we're stupid and we're retarded. I mean, that's literally what Elon Musk said. He called us subtards because we don't want H1B visas. And so I also have a problem with his ties to China. Okay, I really do feel that it's inappropriate for a guy who is being funded by, well, he's closely aligned with Xi Jinping and Li Qiang of the CCP. They support his Shanghai Gigafactory. Why does this guy have unfettered access to President Trump? And what are the national security implications of this? I know that you've spoken out about this, and we really need to have an honest conversation about this. At what point do we say, thank you so much for supporting President Trump and donating to his ground game, but these conflicts are inappropriate and they're going to create potential controversy for President Trump and his nominees in the Trump administration? We need to have an honest conversation about this that isn't blinded by people's love fest for a technocratic billionaire. We need to protect President Trump from these conflicts. The guys that are going in to advise on tech are openly tweeting about their investment portfolios in Palantir while they're appointing all of their Palantir associates to serve in the Trump administration. These are inappropriate conflicts that we would be criticizing the Democrats for, and we need to have the same standards. We need to have the same standards, or else we're no better than the Democrats.
Laura, real quickly, he's a free speech absolutist. The platform's supposed to be about free speech absolutism. What is your current status, ma'am? What has happened to you on that platform?
Well, if he's a free speech absolutist, why was my account suspended? Why was my verified premium account taken away from me? So if you subscribe to me, thank you for your support, but you will no longer be able to subscribe to me because Elon Musk has suspended your ability to support my work because he doesn't like what I said. If you want to verify that my account is me and it's not some troll trying to pretend to be me, you're not going to be able to verify my account anymore because I have lost my verification, my blue check, because Elon Musk doesn't like what I said. I didn't dox anybody. I posted publicly available FEC records. I didn't incite violence against anybody. I am simply trying to warn the Trump administration about something that is going to blow up in their face. And it actually has the risk of potentially getting President Trump impeached in his second term if the Democrats take back the House and are successfully able to spin and create a narrative that big tech is trying to buy influence and that they are enriching themselves in the Trump administration. I'm trying to warn them about a serious issue on the horizon, and it needs to be taken seriously because clearly the MAGA base is up in arms about this today.
Laura, where do people then go to get you? Where do we go today to track Laura Loomer as your the tip of the spear in this fight, ma'am?
Well, you can go to my website, loomered.com, loomered.com. You can support my work, I guess, on buymeacoffee.com/Laura Loomer. And subscribe to me on Rumble, rumble.com/Laura Loomer and Truth Social. Hopefully I, am able to get back in my account once the 12-hour suspension is up, but it doesn't look like I'm really going to be able to post long tweets anymore since my character limit has been limited and I've been banned from being able to purchase premium according to the messages I got from X last night. Hopefully President Trump can tell Elon Musk to restore the verifications for his supporters and his best foot soldiers during the campaign. We need to be able to have open dialogue and conversation.
Laura, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming on 9-8. Laura Loomer.
So there you have Laura Loomer weighing in with Steve Bannon on that point. And what is scary? I mean, here it is. I mean, this is clear evidence of Elon Musk shutting down accounts, claiming somebody was making a lie. I love X. I love, going there and sourcing content and news. It's one of the best platforms out there. But yes, we need to have an open debate on this. And the way I see it, I side with Tucker. Tucker's like, no, man, this is H1B program is no good. Kids are going into college, American kids going into college, getting these STEM degrees, and they're not even getting the jobs. Now, that was back when he was on Fox. 500,000 jobs? Wow. Laura Loomer, 8 hours ago, she says, I wonder what Trump advisor Stephen Miller thinks about the elites of Silicon Valley mocking native-born Americans who want a homeland and limited migration. Stephen, please save all of us low IQ, culturally deficient peasants from being replaced by big tech. And she posts a screenshot of Stephen Miller. Biden asked Trump's administration H1B reforms, which eliminated its use for cheap labor, raised wage to stop displacement, outlawed substitution, replaced H1B lottery with highest paying offer wins, further precluding substitution. Regs were scrapped, and now big tech is replacing Americans. Stephen Miller, right there. Wow. Here's Charlie Kirk weighing in on this.
Are opposed. Now, I want to be very clear about where we stand on this. We are opposed to the mass importations of H1 visas to the United States. Here are the facts. The H1B visa program is heavily abused by these major multi-trillion-dollar companies and software firms generally to bring in workers at lower wages than they would have to pay Americans. Another reason companies use them is that H1B visas, like I say, is indentured servitude. They can't leave that job. Now, there's a really good argument, and I sympathize with this, to be honest, an argument for letting in talented people to the United States. I think that's a great argument. No issue on that. But the H-1B system is not that. It is a way to depress wages and replace American workers. If you want to let in an ultra-talented genius, we have actually a different visa for that. It's called O1 visa. We could also change our system, but right now, America lets in 55,000 immigrants a year through the diversity lottery. Imagine if we got rid of that, and instead of letting 10,000 people a year who score the highest on a difficult test of IQ plus English language proficiency with strict controls to prevent cheating and to keep out anybody with a criminal record, that would let in a lot of talented people who would make America a better country. America is a rich country that hundreds of millions of people want to move to. There's no excuse for not exploiting that to let in the only ones we want to let in the absolute most. This is a violation of our social contract. And it sounds good. Let's just let more H-1B workers in. But what about the 23-year-old that went to University of Washington and studied computer science at the UW Computer Science Department? Shouldn't he be given preference above someone who could do the work for far less? It is about priorities, and it's not about what Charlie Kirk wants. It's not about what other people want out there. And I have friends on both sides of this debate. It's very simple. It's what the American people wanted. And the American people overwhelmingly voted for less immigration and the prioritization of the American children and the American worker, not the American oligarch. We'll be right back.
We have to put America first, front and center, no matter what. Here's Trump again.
And less to America. I do promise, but I happen to agree. That's why I promise. Otherwise, I wouldn't promise. Let me just tell you that it's so sad when we lose people from Harvard, MIT, from the greatest schools and lesser schools that are phenomenal schools also. And what I wanted to do, and I would have done this, but then we had to solve the COVID problem because that came in and, sort of dominated for a little while, as you perhaps know. But what I want to do and what I will do is you graduate from a college, I think you should get automatically as part of your diploma a green card to be able to stay in this country. And that includes...
And you heard Tucker saying hell no to that back when he was on Fox in this clip right here. So here we have another example. Elon Musk appears to have removed the gold badge from conservative OG following a disagreement about H1B visas. As a result, their affiliated influencers have also lost verification and subscribers. Is this the free speech Elon promised us? Wow. Red Eagle Politics, 9 hours ago. America will lose everything if we dump millions of third world migrants here just because they will code for big tech companies for pennies on the dollar. Quote tweeting Elon Musk saying this is the right position for those who want America to win. For those who want America to lose, for their own personal gain, I have no respect. Enoch Powell. Musk is obviously enamored with the idea of immigration. Why should he be? He knows the consequences given where he was born. Let's game this out. And yeah, well, here you have Elon Musk launching rockets. But we have something else that's interesting. Okay, here is Eric Darty, Elon Musk agreeing with Scott Jennings' proposal on H1B visas. We may have a solution here. I haven't seen this clip yet. But Elon Musk apparently is agreeing with Scott Jennings in this clip. Scott Jennings brings together, and you know Scott Jennings on CNN, he's like the lone voice of sanity over there. Scott Jennings brings together the Elon Musk and America Worker First factions of the H1B visa debate to a common resolution. And Elon Musk has said yes to this. So let's listen to what is being said here.
Hi. Number two.
Let's jump straight to our panel. Scott Jennings, I don't want to go into a deep dive of Saved by the Bell with you. I have no doubt you have an encyclopedic knowledge of it. It just seems like something you would have an encyclopedic knowledge of. But I think the bigger picture here, because on the policy, this is a huge issue that has long existed in terms of a division between certain parts of the Republican Party. And then also on the coalition, the political coalition. The president-elect won the popular vote in large part because he was able to put together these two very key components of the coalition. How long-standing and potentially harmful do you think this fight could get?
Let me just start with Kelly Kapowski, if you're listening. Oh, hi. Number two, look, there's always been a push and pull on this in the Republican Party, and I think there's a way to work this out and solve it. I mean, I think what a lot of people would say is, and Elon Musk was making this point, if you take like the top 1% or the top 0.1% of the most talented engineering people from other countries, that's perfectly fine. H1B visas for that. They're unique. They have unique talent, unique innovative skills. Fine. If you're using the H1B program to abuse it, to recruit, interns, accountants, other people that easily could be recruited from the United States of America, all because you just want to do it cheaper, that's not fine. So I think what a lot of people in the party want to do is eliminate the fraud in this H1B program, retain the top engineering talent, and there's a way to do this. What Ramaswamy did yesterday was not a great communications exercise, and it did anger a lot of people in the president's coalition, and I think rightfully so.
Guys, I appreciate, A, you pulling that off, B, you putting up with Scott's Kelly Kapowski commentary.
Tiffany, if Tiffany's watching honestly, the lead, if she's watching the lead.
Forever.
So basically, what is he saying here? He's saying reform and restrict the current H1B system. No more abuse, no choosing foreigners and jobs easily filled by qualified Americans, except the proven geniuses, the top 0.1% to 1% from other nations. And from other nations siphoning the top of the top away from our competitors. Elon Musk saying yes to this 4 hours ago. So the wars are continuing. Megan Basham, quote, tweeting Trump, this is the right position for those who want America to win. For those who want America to lose, for their own personal gain, I have no respect for you. But of course, we have to define that. What does it mean for America to win? And why is Elon Musk censoring people on his platform if they simply disagree with his position on this? Who's winning here? Is Elon winning? How many H1B visa employees does Elon Musk have, and is he at risk of losing? That's a question we need to get down to. And Andrew Torba, he runs Gab. He says Trump, Vance, and Jr., their inner circle, have all been very quiet. It'll be very interesting to see what response comes from them, which is why we need to keep pushing. So we played for you Trump's remarks from 2016, his current remarks. We played for you Charlie Kirk's remarks, Tucker Carlson, Laura Loomer, Scott Jennings. I mean, a huge cross-section of this conversation. So what we've witnessed tonight, it's more than just a debate about visas. It's really a battle for America's technological future. While Elon Musk argues we need the world's top talent to compete globally, voices like Laura Loomer warn of Silicon Valley's plan to replace American workers with cheaper foreign labor. Marjorie Taylor Greene puts it perfectly. We need to rebuild our foundation of American workers instead of importing foreigners to plug the leaks. The solution isn't more H1B visas. It's investing in American education and training our own workforce for the jobs of tomorrow. So here's tonight's explosive question. Is the H1B program really about attracting genius-level talent? Or is it Silicon Valley's Trojan horse to undermine American workers? Share your thoughts below. You can support American workers with our Next News Network gear. Head over to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, link below. Wow. What's up, Stefan? Welcome to the club. New member here. Parmas Dask, hasn't Trump said in the past, buy American, hire American? Well, he certainly has. And Chantha Hanasana, what's going on with Elon, Vivek, and MAGA regarding the international visa? Stop fighting each other. Damn it. Stop it. Yeah, exactly. Stop it. So I hope we were able to give you some perspective on what's going on there. Let's check in on the main chat, see what you guys are saying on the topic. What, Brian? Okay. Okay, let's take a look here. It didn't help that foreign students get free college. Gary ignoring the chat says Ides of March. No, I'm not. I'm here. Sure, you says he's not. Smile. Trump won in a landslide. I hate this. I hate when there's all this division. It drives me nuts. Donna says, I think Trump got so gaslighted. What was that? With Elon Musk is, if true, very sad, but Trump is smarter than him. I saw Detroit implode under my third grade feet, says 3% prepper. Poe, if you go to these colleges in the Midwest and small town America, you'll find nothing but foreign students, and they are living in apartments, 5 or 6 in each apartment. Are they all H1B visas, or are they illegal immigrants? Not a good look for Elon, KNK. Not going to look for Elon for him to do this and not be transparent. Imagine that. Exactly. What are we being distracted from? Infiltration, always a thing, says Corky. Dion says our country is turning foreign. Ides of March. Gotta love Gary. Yeah. There has to be division. Both Musk and Vivek are wrong, says Linda. I love Elon, but Beach, the Florida man, says, oh, what happened? Wait. I love Elon, but if he's changing his tune, he has to be out. Well, that's the problem here. The problem here is that, okay, Elon has his own interests in this fight. We're not sure exactly what those interests are, but he wants more engineers. Does he want them for SpaceX? Does he want them for Tesla? Does he want them for X? Like, who knows what his motivations are? He's got lots of businesses in the tech industry. So he wants more people. And what is the incentive for business? You know, they want people who are going to be paid less to do the job so they can make more profit. That's what businesses do. So if the H1B visa system's being abused, is that what Elon wants to continue? I don't think so. Because as he replied to Scott Jennings said what? We got to end the corruption in the H1B visa system. Nine Wolves says, who the F isn't money driven? We all like to eat good. Thinking Impaired says the Dems and rhinos want conflict before Trump takes office. Well, we're seeing it now. N3 Rock says, Deb, thank you. Wolf, what does this button do? Gary, why does Trump still like Farage after he corrected Trump by asserting Biden won last year Farage is a dickhead now. Bannon is crazy keeping him around. I don't know what Farage is saying these days, so I can't really get into that. Halsey, that like them lefty on other channels saying there won't be farm labor. Get that illegal if you're hiring non-citizens. Vicky says, small town mid-America has many illegal families living in one house working in local packing plants. I don't think that's the same as H1B visa systems, though. Overeducated SP. Why can't we all just get along, right? Yeah. Margot says, I think at this time it's a Trojan horse. Vivek does not lose anything, but Elon could. Poe, thank you for reading my post. You guys are awesome. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you, too. The main point we should be taking, Jay Wag says, is that we must make sure America creates the best and brightest. Corky says, Gary makes the news normal again. FP Sunny. Elon wants more tandoori chicken. What's tandoori chicken? Sounds delicious. Elon is only here for Doge, not policy. And then this whole debate happens. Renee Image says Alex Jones and Steve Bannon were against Elon from the beginning. Interesting. R. Boyd, he's trying to get Gary's eyes with a question, I guess. Who? R. Boyd is an extension of Gary, so respect him or stay quiet. Heather. Meet us at Applebee's for some corporate burgers and corporate chicken wings. No thanks, man. Retro Bill. It looks like we got a couple of super chats. Brian, let me know when you're back. Let's see here. Northern Pike. $1. Thank you. And Retro Bill. Hi, Gary. Something seems contrived about this. Can't put my finger on it. I know it came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, all this drama was kicked up. And this debate was started. And now you've got a divided movement over this topic. Like, I get it, man. You know, we need to, in my opinion, it's bottom line is we should always be hiring American citizens first. End of story. End of story. Okay, Brian, let's bring up the triple box and see what people are saying right now. 7 minutes ago, Ian Miles Chong. Some people mad at Elon for coming into the U.S. on an H-1B visa probably think that they'd be the richest man in the world if it wasn't for him. They're not even millionaires or anything, but they totally would be if he didn't steal their spot. Andrew Tate, CCG Bryson. I'm not even going to read that. Leo Terrell, 7 minutes ago, Georgia judge rules state lawmakers can subpoena Fani Willis. Oh, yeah, let's go. Georgia judge rules state lawmakers can subpoena Fani Willis in misconduct probe. Oh, it's all coming around, isn't it? Well, I don't know what this is. Insurrection. This is a graphic designer on the Kamala Harris campaign. Please spare me the fake moral outrage over J6 pardons. Jack Posobiec 11 minutes ago. Just got tested. Still H1B negative. Oh, wow. Tara Bull says, I think we can all agree H1B visa abuse needs to end. Sure. A montage of what Trump said in his first term about the American worker. Let's go crack down on H1B visa abuses that went on and then will be happening. We have a montage here.
They're most valuable. And we'll crack down on visa abuses that undermine the American worker, and we're doing that right now.
Upon the private sector to join forces with the government to invest in the skills of all Americans, to reskill, to upskill, to provide every American with an on-ramp to opportunity, and to ensure that employers are making the commitment to their most valuable asset, which is the American worker.
We'll be signing an executive order to establish the National Council for the American Worker. And today we are taking historic steps to ensure that every American has the chance to realize their full-time potential. We're asking businesses and organizations across the country to sign our new pledge to America's workers, committing to train and retrain more than 3.8 million American students and workers for new jobs and rewarding careers.
On behalf of IBM,
General Motors, The Home Depot,
Lockheed Martin, Walmart,
we pledge 48,000,
500,000, 512,000,
100,000,
370,000 people,
over 1 million.
And together with the help of everyone in this room, we will truly make America greater than ever before.
Yeah, that's where we should be, folks. Let's just hope that when Donald Trump finally weighs in on this, that we get some common sense returning to it. So, folks, that's a wrap for tonight. And what we've uncovered will definitely reshape the political landscape in the days ahead. In just 24 days, Donald Trump returns to the White House, and now you understand why the deep state's in full panic mode. We exposed 2024's most mortifying media moments, the desperate attempts to cover Biden's decline, the edited interviews to make Kamala appear coherent, the manufactured crowds, the blatant propaganda that would make Pravda blush. But more importantly, we showed you why their control over the narrative is finally crumbling. We revealed the Democrats' desperate plan to block Trump using the 14th Amendment, a last-ditch effort by Jamie Raskin and his cohorts to subvert the will of the American people. Their panic tells you everything you need to know about what's coming. And Trump's global chess moves have sent shockwaves through the international community, from the Canadian merger proposal to securing Greenland and the Panama Canal. His vision for American dominance is already reshaping the world order. Even Putin is signaling openness to peace talks, knowing Trump's return changes everything. Meanwhile, Biden's legacy lies in tatters as he vacations in St. Croix, his 570th day away from the White House, while we expose the photos of his meetings with Hunter's Chinese business partners. Yes, the corruption runs deep, but justice is coming. And the H1B Visa Wars have exposed a critical divide in the movement, with Elon Musk and Silicon Valley on one side and American workers on the other. The battle for our technological future is just beginning. And to everyone who sent in super chats tonight, $65.93. And of course, your Rumble rants, we thank you. Your voice matters, and we are proud to amplify it. Special thanks to our new Operative, Commander, and Sentinel level members. 21 new members today. Your support keeps real news alive. But we need all of you to join this fight. Visit the links down below, Give, Send, Go, or PayPal, and help us continue bringing you the truth. If you don't want to give a super chat, you can just donate privately and quietly at those links below. Remember, the mainstream media wants to silence us, but with your support, we are not going anywhere. And don't forget to grab your exclusive MAG Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Show the world you stand with independent media and truth in journalism. Remember, Patriots, share this broadcast. Tell your friends about the Next News Network. Tell them about the Raw feed, and keep fighting for truth. The storm is here, and we are just getting started. This is the Raw feed. I'm Gary Franchi. God bless you. God bless America. And we'll see you next time.